Let's look at question number 6. So in question number 6 we have a theater which is a monopolist in a particular university, and we have been given demand for movie by faculty members and the demand for tickets by the students. So the cost of service is a fixed cost 500, so we need not worry about that because there's no marginal cost associated with it. In the end, we just need to make sure that the total revenue is greater than this 500. If it is less, then in that case the theater will shut down. Now the price charged is to be same for faculty and students, then what will be happening? So first of all, let's look at the quantity demand. So quantity demanded by faculty equals to 500 minus 4 PF, which implies that price of faculty when it is less than must be less than 125. So when it is greater than 125, no faculty will purchase it. Similarly, quantity demanded by students is equals to 100 minus 2 PS, which implies price of students must be less than 50. Okay, so if students are unwilling, when your price is above 50, no student is going to purchase tickets. So total quantity capital Q will be equal to the sum of these two quantities, QS plus QF, okay, which if price is less than 50, it will be equal to just QF if price belongs to 50 to 125, and it will be equal to 0 if price is greater than 125. So when it is greater than 125, nobody purchases it. So you can just substitute these functions here now. QS plus QF is going to be 600 minus 6P. QS plus QF. Okay, now assuming a constant price P as is given in part 1. So here we are trying to solve part 1. So QS and QF are going to be for a common P. Okay, so if we substitute a common P here, the total quantity is going to be 600 minus 6P when P is less than 50. QF is 500 minus 4P. Right. So we have to make cases now. So let's build the cases. So case 1 is case A. Let's call it case A. So case A is when price is less than 50. So in this case, what happens is that your revenue is price into quantity, which is, so we are in this zone right now, 600 minus 6P. So this price into 600 minus 6P. Now you can convert this into quantity terms, but you can keep everything in terms of prices as well. Okay, so here's the trick here. So dr by dp, see, ultimately price and quantity are linked, so you need not deal with them as two separate entities. You can deal with them as a single entity, okay, which are linked to each other. So either differentiate with respect to price by making a complete function of price, or make a complete function of quantity and differentiate with respect to it. Okay, so dr by dp is going to be equal to 600 minus 12p, which should be equal to 0, which implies P star must be equal to 50. Okay, so let me equate it. Let me put the first case as price less than equals to 50. Okay, so when price is less than equals to 50, the ideal strategy is to charge a price equals to 50. So let's try to find the profit of the firm when it charges a price equals to 50. So that's going to be equal to, or let's just find the revenue, because cost is fixed. There's a fixed cost. Okay, so what's going to be this revenue? This revenue is this function. So 50 into 600 minus 6 times this is 300, right? So that's 50 into 300, so that is 15,000. Okay, so that's my case A, 15,000. Definitely greater than 500, so there's no point about even focusing on this 500. It's irrelevant at this point. Let's look at case B now, when price belongs to 50 to 125. Okay, so what happens when price is in this range? So in this range, your revenue So you are catering only to the faculties. You have kept price sufficiently high. You are only catering to the high paying customers. So your revenue will be equal to, so in this case we are focusing here. Okay, so forget about this case, we are focusing here. So now what happens is the revenue is going to be price into 500 minus 4p. So when you differentiate, dr by dp will be equal to 500 minus 8p, which must be equal to 0, implies p star must be equal to 500 divided by 8. So 500 divided by 4 is 125, so this becomes 62.5. So if you are focusing only on the faculty members, then the ideal price must be 62.5. Now what is the revenue when you charge price equals to 62.5? So that's going to be equal to 62.5. That's your price. Okay, so I'm going to look at this function into 500 minus 62.5, so that's 250. So 250 into 62.5. So is this greater than 15,000? It definitely is, because you see 60 into 250 is equals to 30 into 500, which is equals to 15,000. So this is definitely greater than 15,000. Okay, so if you don't have a calculator in the exam, you can basically work it out like this. Anyway, you have sufficient time. 4 क्वेश्चन करने होते हैं 2 घंटे में, तो मैथ्स भी कर ही सकते हो थोड़ा सा कैलकुलेशन. बट द पॉइंट बीइंग दैट इट इज़ giving you higher profits to sell only to the high paying customers. In this case is the faculty members. Okay, so the better strategy is this one. This is the better strategy for me to sell to only the faculty members. So p star equals to 62.5. Okay, so what price? 62.5. Now let's look at the second part of this problem. So in the second part, the firm can discriminate. Now here the key is that there is no quantity constraint. Okay, so remember that large enough to accommodate everybody. The only concern is कि revenue maximize होना चाहिए. So total revenue, now it can segregate it into 2 markets. So this is going to be the case of third degree price discrimination. It's a revenue from faculty plus revenue from students. So it can individually maximize. What is revenue from faculty? Revenue from faculty is equals to price faculty into quantity faculty. So that's going to be price faculty into 500 minus price faculty. So D revenue faculty by D price faculty is going to be equal to what's it going to be equal to 500 minus 4 price faculty, sorry. So we have already done this. Okay, so this actually gets maximized at price faculty equals to 62.5. Okay, so the faculty price must be equal to 62.5. Now what is revenue students? Revenue students is price students into quantity students. So that is price students into 100 minus twice price students. So D revenue student by DPS is going to be 100 minus 4 PS, which is equal to 0, implies price students must be 25. Okay, so this is going to be price discrimination result, that price faculty must be equal to 62.5 and price student must be equal to 25. So at these levels, the total revenue of the theatre and thereby the total profits will get optimized.